Be me 24 years old IT guy. Always thought girls had it easy. Like they swim in attention every day. Guys texting them non-stop. Flowers just because. Date invites around every corner. That's what all the guys said in school. And I believed it without question. Even felt a bit jealous sometimes. Thinking, man, why wasn't I born a girl? Then I started hanging out with Olivia. She worked in the same office as me. Always smiling, calm kind of person. We started eating lunch together. Talked about music and movies. One day I joked like, "You must be tired of all the attention from guys." And she just laughed. Said, "Dude, you have no idea how it really is." Then she started telling me her side. And it flipped my whole picture of reality. She says most messages are weird. Some guys don't even say hi. Just jump straight into something rude or creepy. Others drop fake compliments. Obviously expecting something in return. Half the time it's not attention but pressure. Like if she doesn't reply, she is cold. Or, "Come on, you're a girl, you should like it." She showed me her inbox once. Half the chats were pure cringe. Almost no normal conversations. Then she told me about guy friends who vanish when she actually needs help, and how after she says no to a date, some immediately turn hostile. I listened and couldn't believe it. I always thought attention was nice, like a bonus for being attractive. But for her, it was exhausting. She even avoids opening her DMs sometimes, just so she doesn't see another, "Hey gorgeous." That's when I started realizing I might have been completely wrong. She told me it's not just online. In real life it's often worse. Random guys approaching on the street. Some won't take no for an answer. Others follow her for blocks, pretending it's a coincidence. I thought that only happened in movies. But she had story after story. Like the time she left a cafe, and some dude waited outside for her. Or when a stranger sat next to her on the bus, and started touching her hair without asking. She said it makes her hyper-aware, always scanning for exits or crowded places. I'd never even considered that. I walk home at night without thinking twice. She walks with keys in her fist, checking over her shoulder every few seconds. I realized my attention idea wasn't attention at all. It was just constant stress disguised as interest. And it made me feel kinda sick inside. I asked her if it ever feels good, like if there's any attention she enjoys. She said yeah, but it's rare. Usually from people she actually knows. Or from strangers who are respectful. But that's maybe 1 out of 50 interactions. The rest feel fake, forced, or unsafe. She said sometimes she wishes she could just be invisible for a week. No catcalls, no weird stares. No unsolicited advice on her appearance. Meanwhile, I'd spent years thinking. Girls wake up to flowers and love letters. And here she was telling me, most mornings start with blocking someone. Or deleting creepy comments. It was so far from what I pictured. I realized I'd never actually asked. I'd just assumed and filled in the blanks. And every blank I'd filled was wrong. After that talk, I started noticing things. Stuff I'd never paid attention to before. Like how guys would interrupt her mid-sentence. Or talk over her in meetings. How a simple, "Hi," from a stranger could make her tense up immediately. I saw her smile politely to avoid conflict, then exhale when the guy walked away. I used to think she was just friendly. Now I knew it was a survival habit. Even little things hit different. Like when she changed her route home, just because someone was walking behind her. I realized the attention I envied came with a price tag I'd never seen. And that price was constant alertness. Constant second-guessing. Constant wondering if it's safe to say no. I couldn't believe how far off my idea was. And how easy it had been to believe the lie. One day we were at lunch again. She got a call and rolled her eyes. Said it was some guy she met once, who kept checking in every few days, even after she stopped replying. I joked like just block him. She said she had, but he made new numbers. And I just sat there speechless. I'd never dealt with anything like that. If someone ignores me, I move on. But for her, it was normal. She even said she knew girls who had to change their phone numbers completely. I started thinking about how tiring that must be. Not just the calls, but the feeling that someone you barely know is tracking you. And it wasn't even the worst story she had. It was just another Tuesday for her. And I couldn't imagine living like that. A week later, she invited me to a party. Said some of her friends would be there. I ended up talking to 3 different girls. And without me even bringing it up, they told almost the exact same stories. Creepy DMs, guys not taking no for an answer, having to share locations with friends at night. One girl even carried pepper spray in her bra. I realized this wasn't just Olivia's bad luck. This was normal for them. And every guy in the room had no idea it was happening. I felt this weird mix of guilt and shock, like I'd been living in a parallel world, one where attention was a compliment, and in theirs it was often a warning sign. By the end of the night, I knew I'd never see it the same way again. After that, my whole perspective shifted. I stopped making those casual jokes about girls having it easy. Started actually listening when they talked. I noticed how quick guys were to dismiss their experiences as exaggeration, and how little effort it took to just believe them instead. Olivia once said to me, "It's not that we hate attention. We just want the kind that feels safe." And that stuck in my head for weeks. Now when I hear someone say, "Girls get all the attention," I think, yeah, but you have no idea what that attention really looks like. And I remember the day Olivia laughed at my joke and decided to tell me the truth. A truth I should have known all along.